Yeah, started sharing my screen. So,
Shiva.
Sorry. Yes, Ramesh. Question?
Quick question. Shiva.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the Flume, right? So when we have multiple agents, sorry, one second. When we have multiple agents, right? So we should have only one sync at the end, is it?
Finally, at the end, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so multiple agents will point back to a single agent, and the single agent will communicate to sync.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. No problem. So today's topic is Oozie. So this is a scheduler kind of stuff. So workflow scheduler. We'll discuss so far whatever the tools that we discussed. If we want to schedule them at a particular point of time, or we need to define the sequence of steps that needs to be done. Okay, so let's say you will receive a data set every 4 hours. After that, you need to run one MapReduce job, and after that, you need to run a pig script. After that, you need to run a hive. After that, you need to run again some another hive action. Okay, so to do this, some transformations and aggregations. So you're running multiple hive queries on this. Finally, you store them into your HBase or something, or whatever it is. Okay. So in between, you are planning to run some Java action or shell action. So any of these. So whenever you receive some source input data, you might have planned some sequence of actions, some set of steps, one after the other, followed by. Let's say if MapReduce job is failed with some other issue, like number of bad records are high, so then you should skip these steps and you should end it. Or if your pig is failed, so either you should proceed or end it. So this way, when you have multiple actions that needs to be taken in a sequence or in a parallel fashion, all those things, we can specify them in Oozie Workflow Manager. Okay. That's the one-liner benefit of your Oozie. Scheduling these workflows, the actions, specifying the actions, the parallel sequence actions or the parallel actions or the sequence actions, one after the other. What are the dependencies for each action? And you can trigger them on a timely basis so that for that particular time period, it gets triggered. Okay, so let me show you this. Yeah, Oozie is mainly called as a workflow scheduler. for Hadoop. So it can be used with your Java to trigger your Java programs, to trigger your shell scripts, to perform any SSH commands, SSH activities, to run your MapReduce jobs, to run your pig scripts and hive scripts, and even your scoop actions. Scoop actions can be done from this Oozie. And yeah, so anything, even the Spark can be integrated with Spark actions can also be specified with the latest versions of Oozie. Okay. So it's a top level, it's one of the top level Apache project, comes by default in the Hadoop distributions, any installations, and you will have it in your Cloud Extra team. Okay, provides a workflow management and coordination of these workflows, manages directed acyclic graph of actions, the same. So acyclic graph of actions, there should not be any cycles, otherwise it will end up in deadlocks, infinite loops. Okay. The basic components that get involved into this Oozie architecture. With Oozie, we'll interact mainly with the command line API. And inside Oozie, there will be a Tomcat instance always running, which fetches all the Oozie actual DB details that get stored in the MySQL. So in MySQL, the metadata of all the Oozie jobs will get stored, and from there, this Tomcat is responsible for fetching those details and displaying them for us on the Oozie web UI. Whenever we submit a command, so that will get submitted to our Oozie server, and Oozie server stores the metadata of that job here and displays that information back to us on Oozie web UI using this Tomcat server. And this Tomcat instance is specific to this Oozie server itself. Okay, so we don't need to worry much about this Tomcat instance details and all. Even we never get requirements to look into this, the DB. Okay, only thing is we will be submitting all our Oozie commands to submit the job, and we'll verify those jobs in the Oozie web UI. And these will fire actions on either Hadoop, Pig, Hive, Hadoop in the sense here MapReduce, Pig, Hive, Java, SH, or any other type of actions that you're planning. Okay. It runs on HTTP service, so that's why we use the Tomcat server there. So clients interact with service by submitting workflows. Workflows are executed immediately, either immediately or later by time scheduling. Okay. And here, these workflows are defined via XML files. Instead of writing the Java code that implements tool interface and external configure classes. So I will show you these workflow examples for each of these actions. Okay, so I will show example for MapReduce, example for Hive, example for Pig, example for Scoop, all these things. Okay, let me show you how does these XML files look like. And before getting started with the actual XML writing, in in this Oozie workflow, you will find mainly two types of nodes. So one is an action node and second one is a control node. Control nodes are something that are responsible for start, stop, and kill. Okay, so there is no processing to happen in these nodes. So this control node, this is where all your action starts with, all your processing starts with, and end is the node where your processing of your Oozie workflow gets stopped, and kill is again, so where it forcefully gets killed. These are called control nodes, and there are some set of action nodes. These action nodes again of different types, like I mean, all are action nodes only. The different types depend on what type of action you are doing. Like if you are running a MapReduce job, it will be a MapReduce action. If you are running a scoop command, that is a scoop action. If you are running a hive script, that is a hive action. If you are running a pig script, that is a pig action. Okay, we'll see all those things. So these control flows are start and kill.
Shiva?
Yes, Akila.
There was some loss of your voice actually when we are saying action nodes.
Okay. Okay, you want me to repeat again that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In actions, we have different types of actions that are being supported by Oozie. So whatever the functionality that we are doing in the background of that action, with that name we call that action. So if we are running a MapReduce job, we call that as a MapReduce action. If we are running a Java program, we call that as Java action. If we are running a shell script, that is called as a SH action. If we are running a pig script, that is pig action. That way, depending on what type of actions that you can perform from your Oozie workflow, so we have various types of action nodes. And similarly, so various types of control flow nodes, start and kill. So these are the bare minimum control nodes that you will see in any workflow. And decision, fork, joins. The fork and joins a bit advanced, and decision is also again like if else conditions kind of. Okay, let's see, and that is workflow, and there is a coordination engine that can trigger these workflows. So inside a workflow, we'll specify what are the actions that needs to be run and what is the sequence of them. Let's say if you check here, so we have this start control node, and once here the process starts, so it goes to MapReduce action. So if the MapReduce action is successful, it will go and end that workflow. Otherwise, if it fails, if there is an error, it kills that process. And the same steps we specify in our XML notation. So we specify the workflow application name. So workflow app name equal to, this can be any name that we can give. And so start control node, start space 2 equal to, here inside that to list, we'll give the action node name. Okay, let's say there is a MapReduce action. This MapReduce action name we have to specify here. And so we have, yes, Satish.
Yes, your voice is breaking in between for some time.
Yeah, it's not coming continuously.
Yeah, same here, Shiva.
So, not sure. I think this is a network issue. Should I connect back?
I mean, we're able to see your movements, Shiva, mouse movements, but voice is not coming out.
Okay.
If it happens once more, let's try connecting back. If not.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's better if I, yeah. So if it happens again, I will reconnect. Okay. So we can specify the control nodes this way. Start to equal to your action node name, and followed after that some list of some sequence of action nodes, and then at the end you will have two control nodes. One is for killing the application, and another is for ending that application in successful manner. Okay, since this is XML notation, you will find every closure tag corresponding to each of these nodes. Now, so let's say if you have such workflows, multiple workflows are there, or even there is only one workflow, you want to trigger that workflow only at, instead of immediately, only at 4 p.m. every day. Then in that case, the coordination engine will comes into picture. So this will help us in triggering those workflows by time periodically. Okay, and there is a chance that we can trigger these workflows on a file availability or a data availability as well. These are the two dependencies in any typical schedulers that you will observe. So one is a time-based triggering, second one is a file-based triggering. So as and when the file gets created, the next sequence of steps will get kicked off. Okay, we'll see these things one after the other. So that is the basic things that you should be aware of with Oozie. It got killed. Okay, let me sudo service Oozie status is run. One second, I think there is some issue with that. Hadoop MapReduce history server. Hadoop history server is running. So let me verify whether all my services are running or not. Name node is running, data node is running, and secondary name node is also running. And resource manager, node manager, this is a Spark
Shiva, one quick question.
Yes, Satish.
So sudo service map history server status. So which server it refers to?
Sudo service.
MapReduce history server.
This is a MapReduce history server.
So like, does it refers to the master or name node?
History services, there is another history service, right? So as and when your jobs gets completed from your Yarn resource manager, all those jobs will be sent to your resource history server, right? That runs on 19888.
It's a separate daemon, right?
Yes, it's a separate daemon. I explained this, but it was very long back, a month back. Okay. It's not the master, it's not the slave. The master is nothing but your resource manager service. So that will be a separate. Okay. So that will be a separate daemon. And node manager is a separate daemon. This is a separate daemon. Okay. You can see this one also here. Secondary name node. Spark deploy history server. This one of these Catalina startup bootstrap is one of these two services is for your Tomcat instance for Oracle. For Oozie. This is the job history, MapReduce job history server. Okay, I'm just trying to see whether all the services for Oozie are running or not. Okay. Okay. So the very basic step before starting with your workflows, you should be aware that first you need to verify whether your Oozie is running fine or not. So Oozie status we can check with Oozie admin -status. So -Oozie and Oozie URL, wherever your Oozie is running. So that is mandatory that we should specify there. Oozie admin -Oozie http:// so localhost. Generally this Oozie runs on 11,000 port number. Okay. So 11,000 port number. So system mode is normal. So it says that so Oozie is running fine. So now let's start with triggering some of these actions. Okay. So is my voice still breaking?
No, Shiva.
Okay. Yeah. And to get started with your Oozie workflows, the simplest approach is that you will find some set of examples from the Oozie library. Just first play with them. You will find all those Oozie examples in the user lib Oozie. So user lib Oozie. So inside this, web apps Oozie docs. You can find inside this path. So you'll find Oozie examples.tar.zz file. Okay. So copy this onto your home directory. In order to play with these examples. Okay. So just extract them here. Okay. So just extract them. You'll get an examples folder created, and inside these examples you will find all the actions that are needed, I mean that can be tested, and any input data that is needed for these actions in this input data folders, and any source code. This source code source folder is not mandatory, but they just have given you for here. Okay, so just apps and input data folders are enough for us. So inside this apps, if you check for each action type, you have a separate folder. Let's say we'll take the first very basic simple example, MapReduce. And MapReduce, or if you observe any of these action main folder, so if you open MapReduce, two things that I want you to observe. So you will find one workflow.xml file and one job.properties file and one lib folder. And similarly, if you see here Hive 2, so one workflow.xml file and job.properties file. And here you don't have the lib folder here, but you can maintain. And in Hive, the same. And in Pig, let's see, there is one workflow.xml file and job.properties file. And whatever the Pig script that we are going to run in this workflow, that Pig script file will also get copied into the same folder. Here id.pig is the Pig script, and here if you see in Hive, the script.q is the one that I am going to run this Hive commands. So this is the script that I am going to run from this workflow. Even that same script, Hive script, is also copied into the same folder. So in every application, in every workflow application folder, two mandatory files are, one is workflow.xml with the same name. You can't change the name. The name needs to be the same, workflow.xml. And there should be one properties file. Even that name should be exactly job.properties only. Okay, you should not change these names. So inside our workflow application, you should mandatorily maintain these two files. And third files, I mean any other files, it depends on what type of action you are dealing with. Let's say if it is a Hive action or a Pig action or a shell action, so it is mostly a script being run, right? If it is just a script, you can put those scripts in the same folder. But in case of MapReduce jobs, it is not a script, right? In case of MapReduce jobs, what do we run? We run jar files. We create a jar file, and the jar file will get submitted as the Hadoop jar command. So that jar files, you can copy them into this lib folder. So if you have any jar files, instead of plain script files, those jar files needs to get copied into the lib folder under the same level. Okay, so this is the directory structure that you should first understand. Now, let's take this and first open this workflow.xml file and see this job.properties file also. Okay, let me show you this job.properties file at the same time. Yeah, the dependency between these two files is that you can provide your key value pairs in the job.properties file. Properties file, the purpose of properties file in Java or in any other tools is just to maintain your variables, right? So you'll specify your variables and constants here, and what are the values that you want to pass for each of these variables. So your dot properties file is nothing but a key value pairs separated by assignment operator. That's it. So for example, in this job.properties file itself, I have a name node equal to hdfs:/localhost 8020. Okay, or I will change this to quickstart.cloudera:8020. And where is my job tracker running? Yeah, this some of these terminologies still point to your older MRV1 terminology. This Oozie has to update those keywords, but they might have a lot of dependencies in the backend. If they change this name here, so they might need to change lots and lots of pieces of code in the backend. So some of these keywords being carried from the MRV1 architecture itself, but you should point to your latest ports and the host names only as per the new architecture only, but the keyword might be misleading for you. Okay, so job tracker is nothing but the master service in MRV1, right? So MapReduce version 1 architecture, job tracker and task tracker. But in MapReduce version 2 or YARN architecture, you will find resource manager and node managers. Okay, so even though you don't have that resource manager address, this job tracker is nothing but equivalent to a resource manager. So we should provide that port number and host name only. So you might have observed this lots and lots of times, that whenever you submit a MapReduce job, so it was connecting to 0.0.0.0:8032. So 8032 is the port number for your resource manager, and all those zeros refer to that local host. Okay, and on your YARN, so you can have a queues for maintaining your resources. Okay, and this is again an admin's job to create a different queues, and each queue will have a different amount of resources being shared. Let's say if there is an application, some priority application that is running, any jobs submitted under that queue will get 25% of all your cluster resources, and remaining applications might get 10% of the entire cluster resources, or 20% of the cluster resources, or even might be less than that, 5%. So based on the importance of your applications, your administrators can create the queues, and your queue capacity will decide how many resources you will get for your job. Okay, and this is purely an administrator job, but in your real time, you will get to know the queue names. So what is the queue name for your project that you should use in case if you are triggering any Oozie jobs to your YARN? Okay, you don't need to worry about. If you don't know the queue name, just submit it to the default queue. This is the default queue. And even on the YARN, if you don't have any other queues defined by your administrators, there will be only one queue, that is default queue. And all your 100% of cluster resources will get utilized by just that one default queue. Okay. So these are some common properties that you will observe in any job.properties file. And there is one more. This is also, once again, a mandatory property that you will see, must and should property that you will observe in the job. Oozie.wf means workflow dot application dot path. Oozie workflow application path. So we'll give an HDFS location for this, where we store our workflow.xml file on the HDFS directory. Okay. So apart from these four properties, in this file, examples root, this is just one variable with value this, and output directory is also another variable with value map-reduce. Now, these things seems reasonable and okay for you. And why do we need this HDFS directory location here? So we are creating this workflow.xml file. So workflow.xml file here and job.properties file here on your local file system. But here you are giving that workflow.xml file path from HDFS. That's why you have $name node, meaning, so in Unix, if you use $ curly brace and inside that anything, it refers to this, it looks for this variable name, right? So what is the value of it? This is the value. HDFS : /kickstart.cloudera:8020/user and $user.name. This is the Oozie inbuilt variables that can pick up your username by default. So for us, it will become Cloudera /user/Cloudera. So what is the value of examples root? It is examples and apps/map-reduce/workflow.xml. So this means I need to maintain this workflow.xml file on HDFS. So I should upload this workflow.xml file onto HDFS directory. And that directory path, including this workflow.xml file, so I should provide in the Oozie workflow application path. Here. Now, coming to workflow.xml file, it is very simple only. Only thing is you guys just have to pay attention and understand this. That's it. Okay. So if you see here, it's
Hello.
yes, Akila.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Hello, Akila. Even others are also facing the same.
Yeah, we lost him.
Hello.
Hello. We lost your voice, Shiva.
Is it fine now?
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening today. Let me.
So we are clear with the job properties. Fine.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't start with workflow. I was about to start that. Let me check whether my internet speed is causing problem.
Shiva?
Yes, Satish.
So one quick question is like scheduling a job is normally done by admin, right? So for this, Oozie is developed. These job flows are developed by developer, or it is done by admin?
So it is a mix, Satish. Like generally, workflows will be written by developers, and scheduling the coordinators, all these things will be done by your administrators. So when these jobs to be scheduled, and some places in some of the projects, I have observed that everything getting developed, everything being managed by your administrators itself. But in some places, I observed that developers only write these workflows. Until workflows developers will write, and the scheduling part So on which file dependency, on which job dependency, and what is the job sequence. So once you get from your architect team, if you share it with your administrators, they will do that for you. In some of the projects, that is the standard that followed. And some projects, at least the workflows, needs to be developed by administrators. In some, everything will get developed by administrators. Yeah, but it's good to have so that if it comes on your plate, even you will be ready to build this. These are not complex things. Only thing is people get scared. This is something new. That's it. Okay. It's very simple. And mostly you will, in real time, you will not find issues in developing these workflows. You will find issues in running them on the cluster. So that is also mostly due to your Oozie server issue. Okay, so mostly either sometimes the authentication issue, sometimes it might not be able to pick up some of these HDFS. There, you really don't need to worry about, just escalate these things to the server issues. You can always highlight this to administrators. But it's good to understand, good to learn these things.
Shiva, like how do you unit test like the workflow that I'm developing is working?
Unit testing, just one action by action, just submit them and go to the console and verify them. Let me explain this one workflow.xml, then I will submit this job and then we'll see, right? We'll see this. Okay?
All right.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, in this workflow itself, I have added multiple actions. Let me stop them. So it's very simple. Okay. So if you check here, this is my basic workflow action. Let's not worry about the commented piece of code. So workflow app and XML namespace, these things leave as it is. Okay. So take these examples and leave them as it is, even if you have to write, and give a meaningful name here. So what type of, let's say if you are running about a retailer data processing, retail data processor or something. Okay. And start with, let's say in the same workflow.xml file, if you have multiple actions, so from which action you should start with, so that you have to specify. This start is a control node, and inside that we'll specify one of the action node. So after where to get start with. Okay, so I have given this MR node. Even this MR node, this is just a name. You don't need to keep this as a MR node for MR action, Hive node for Hive action, and Pig node for Pig action. Okay, you can give any meaningful name there. Like raw data processing. Raw data processing is my node name. So that I can give here. So when I get my raw data, so I will run this action. So here name is raw data processing. So the action is MapReduce action. So I will open and close these MapReduce tags. And inside this MapReduce, so in case if you are running a MapReduce job through Oozie, you don't need your driver class. Just mapper and reducer classes are sufficient for you. You don't need the driver class to be written. Okay. Inside this MapReduce, you're providing the job tracker address, dollar curly brace of job tracker. Now, the value of this variable will get picked up from your job.properties file. This value at runtime, this value will get copied over to this property. And same way, name node variable will get replaced with this name node value here. And I think I'm getting some warning messages saying that your internet connection is not stable. So let me know if you guys are, whenever you face audio issues, I'll try to repeat that few seconds. No voice? Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
I think, yeah, it's some, I have download speed and upload speed 40 Mbps. So some network issue only. My, okay. Some.
Siva, your speed is amazing, man. It's better than mine here.
But there is no standard in that, right? No reliability. Even if it is 40 Mbps, you guys are not able to hear my voice clearly.
The upload is simply crazy. We don't get this upload speed here. So it's amazing.
Yeah, generally it doesn't cause any issues. I mean, it was rainy since it is rainy season, and some places might be some connection issues, right? So that might be thing, I think. Okay. So,
Sure.
yes, Satish.
So one quick question, like for MapReduce. So how does it know which job to run, whether it is a map job or reduce job? I mean the sequence of job.
I'm explaining that only, Satish. Yeah, let me complete this. Okay. Yeah, let me complete this. Okay. So in a MapReduce action, you are specifying what is the job tracker and what is the name node. And in case if you are running any MapReduce job and if you suspect that output directory might be there, if you want to do any cleanup activities on your output directories, you can do them in the preparation tags. Okay. So preparation steps: prepare, delete path, and specify the path. Okay, and don't get surprised all these keywords. I'm getting again these new keywords. I need to remember all these tags. Once you remember, the way you remembered your MapReduce driver program, once you remember, your driver program will remain same, right? Even if you write hundreds of MapReduce program, it is also same case here. So once you remember these tags, it is the same, and you don't even need to remember these because you will get always examples. These you just need to change the values of these things. That's it. Okay. So you specified name node and you specified job tracker and you did some your preparation steps, deleted your output directories. So output directory is specified here, deleted. Okay. Now inside the configuration section, you'll specify all your properties. Your MapReduce job, to which queue your current MapReduce job should get submitted to. Okay. Now, this answers your question, Satish. So, which MapReduce job I should run? Okay. So you don't need to specify the driver. but you will have a jar file in the lib folder. Let's say in this lib folder, you will find a jar file created with the classes. Let's say if you have word count and some other log processor and some other your table processor. There are multiple MapReduce jobs written in your project, and all those are compiled as a jar file. Okay, and that jar file you will copy it into lib folder, and your workflow.xml file you will specify what is the mapper class that you want to run and what is the reducer class that you want to run. Okay, so here with these properties mapred.mapper.class, you'll specify the fully qualified class name. So what is the mapper that you need to run, and after that what is the reducer that you want to run, and how many map tasks, how many reducer tasks, anything that you can configure through your driver. Almost all those things you can specify as a properties here. And what is your input directory? There we used job.setInputFormat.input path, right? So here we use this mapred.input.directory. So user/user/. So by default it's an HDFS directories only. So that's why you don't need to specify the HDFS URI prior to this. So /user wf:/user. This is a Oozie function, built-in function that brings the username, Cloudera, and examples root examples, whatever the value that you have, input data/text, and output directory. You can specify this here. Okay. Yes, Satish.
Sure, like if you have like a sequence of mappers and one reducer, so how do you mention it here?
Sequence of mappers. Yes. First let's complete this. Okay. So next, sequence of mappers and sequence of sequence of mappers and just one reducer.
Yes, sure.
How do you do that in MapReduce? How do you do that in MapReduce?
Not MapReduce, sure. Like how do you mention it here? Like we are not using any driver code, right?
Okay. So I mean, in case of MapReduce, let's say if you are running a MapReduce job, how do you specify that?
Right.
I'm asking, like, so in driver program, if it is driver program, how do we specify that?
So in driver code, like we'll mention like one mapper is feeding to other mapper.
By the class name.
By the class, I mean, you'll specify the class name, job.setMapper class as mapper class. After that?
I didn't get the question actually.
I mean, he is telling that he want to process multiple mapper classes in sequence, and after that one reducer class. I mean, why do you need multiple mapper class? In real time, you will not get this scenario. First thing, yeah. There can be a sequence of MapReduce jobs. Let's say one mapper ran, and after that one reducer. And after this, you might be running another MapReduce job. Okay. So for your case, the same mapper being applied or a sequence of mappers running first and then finally running reducer. Yes, that is achievable in MapReduce, native MapReduce, using ChainMapper. There is a special class in MapReduce API, which I didn't explain you, that is a ChainMapper. And similarly, chain reducer. And inside that ChainMapper, if you have multiple mapper classes, and if you specify the sequence, you can run those mappers in the sequence, and finally one reducer. Okay, but real time, I never used, at least. Okay, I can make this statement.
Like we'll be extending one class to other class. That's it, no? Mapper class, like a chain mapper, chain reducer means, or else we
It's
write
not
different.
about, he's not asking about implementation, Akila. Let's say he's having multiple mapper classes. Okay. Um, he's having a mapper 1 class and mapper 2 class and mapper 3 class. So what he's telling that generally your first mapper completes, how does our data goes to reducer, right?
Yeah.
So but what Satish is asking, I don't want to send it to reducer once my first mapper gets completed. I want to send my output to mapper 2. And then I want to send my output of mapper 2 to mapper 3. And then finally to reducer. Okay. So, but this, you in real time, you will not get this kind of scenarios. In the worst case, you can use ChainMapper. There is a special class called ChainMapper. So inside this, you can specify the sequence of your mappers, and the output will get carried out through the map. You will write your different mapper classes, and finally sequence of mappers, and then you will set the reducer class. And similarly, if you have multiple reducer classes that needs to be run in sequence, you can run chain reducer.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
just
have
like it has a method called add mapper and set reducer.
Yes, exactly.
Siva, I know too many questions, but quickly, why do we need mapper and reducer? Because I mean, we're going to run Hive or Impala kind of jobs, right? I mean, why do we? Because that Hive or Impala or whatever the tool is, they will run the MapReduce jobs, right?
Yes. So let's say, what if you receive something that you can't do with your Hive? Will you run MapReduce program or not?
But that will be very exceptional scenario, right?
Yes, exceptional scenario only.
Right.
Okay. See, generally, whenever we take any project flow, so we'll explain in this fashion. Okay. So first MapReduce or Pig, then Hive or Impala, and then finally into HBase, and this Hive getting connected to your reporting tools. That is what the flow is like.
We go with MR only in conditional statements where it is not
conditional statements, yes. Okay. But if I have to specify them in sequence, MR comes first, right? Agreed? Let's say I gave you some free form text, okay, this way. And if I want to break this for every 5 characters length or something. So in Hive, I can't directly do this, right?
Yeah, we don't
in
have
Java, I can write some logic.
Yeah.
I can write some logic and I can divide this into some 5 fields.
Because Java supports many string functions.
Many string functions. Of course, if you try, you can write a UDF even in Hive, and you can achieve that. Again, which is nothing but Java code only, even if you write Hive UDF. See, Anand, intention is that you will always not start with MapReduce. Okay. Since we learned in that sequence, I am trying to show you one action with MapReduce.
Shiva, by this you mean that MapReduce is generally here we are talking about parsing the data?
Parsing the input, yes. Mainly for parsing only. If you are going for MapReduce, my main purpose will be parsing only, because any other processing you can do with Hive and Pig also. So most of the times you will go for MapReduce only for parsing.
And Pig and Hive not do any parsing.
Parsing you can do with some up to some extent using the regular expressions, and using some kinds of delimiters, all those things. But extensive, let's say, see, do you agree this one thing, that anything that you can do in a SQL, can't you do that in Java?
We can.
Right? Anything that you can do in Java, can you do that in SQL? No.
I don't know.
I mean, anything that you can do in Java can be done in SQL?
No, because
Obviously
we cannot run the
This
loop.
is a programming language. Programming language can have n number of features which your query language might not. Query language will have a limited features, and programming language will have unlimited. With programming language, you can achieve the features of query language, but not the other.
Using programming, we can customize as we wish.
Yes. Okay, I mean, this is like a contradictory topic we discussed so many times. Okay. See, my main intention is not that you guys always should start with MapReduce program. Okay. So in case, so if this is your sequence, I want you guys to be at least aware of this sequence flow. And in case, if given chance, if you have to write an Oozie action for MapReduce, yes, be ready with this. That's it. Okay. And as Satish was asking, most of the time, sometimes in some of the projects, this is the purely job of your administrators. But still, why I'm explaining you this thing is, in some projects, I observed that in some projects, even in my current project, the developers will develop the workflows. We'll develop the workflows and we give it to administrators. They will schedule it. Okay, but my intent is that you should be aware of things. Okay, clear, Anand? Why am I explaining this?
Yeah, I think so. It's clear. I mean, it's very good to know the basics, right? Because you never know, right? So makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, I agree that MapReduce is exceptional case, but still know that. Okay. So I will show you hive and pig also. Okay, don't worry.
Yeah, that's exactly I was going to ask you. That is my focus. So.
Anyway, that I will show all these things. Okay, pig, MapReduce, hive, scoop, everything I will show you. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So you have specified queue name, you have specified mapper class, reducer class, and any other properties, the driver properties, input path and output directory, all these things. And you have closed your configuration section and you close your MapReduce action. If this MapReduce action is successful, meaning it's okay. So if it is successful, that means it's okay. Go to end. End is nothing but normal successful end. And if there is any error, go to fail node. Fail node is nothing but my kill node. So MapReduce failed and it prints that error message. Okay. So this is my workflow.xml file. Now I have this I have prepared workflow.xml file and job.properties file and lib folder with the jar. I just need, out of these things, job.properties file need to be available on my local disk, and remaining the entire directory structure should be available on HDFS. Okay. So let me upload this to HDFS. Hadoop fs-put examples 2. Just give me a minute break. I'm getting call from office. Just minute break.
Looks like we lost Shiva again, right?
No, he took some break.
Oh, he took a break. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah. So let me see that this got uploaded or not. Okay. So I uploaded my examples folder completely onto HDFS. Let's verify this on HDFS. So ls-r examples on HDFS. Okay, so my MapReduce apps/MapReduce apps/MapReduce job.properties file and my workflow.xml file. These two got copied there, and this is lib. And inside this lib, I have this jar in my HDFS directory, and this was the path that I gave in my job.properties file. Now let's submit this job. So for submitting a job, Oozie job -Oozie. Where is your Oozie running? http://localhost. So this property is always mandatory. Earlier versions of Oozie, it was optional, but now these days it's mandatory. So to which Oozie console it should route to. Okay, and -config your job.properties file location. Where is your job.properties file? Is present. Okay, -run. Okay, this submitted a job. You can see this job is submitted. So and so ID. You can verify this job status here on the Oozie console. Oozie web console. So it runs on this localhost 11,000/Oozie port number, right? Whatever the URI that we have given in the command line, the same URI that we have to open. So if I open this, let's see. Yeah. Sometimes you will get issues from server side. Let's see what are the issues. Okay, and just refresh this. It's very slow. So I will kill this Spark deploy history server 4230. And anything HBase related also I will try to kill. HBase REST server 3330 is not needed for me. HBase 33303471. Okay, so you can see, so under the workflow jobs, you can see our new job ID, which is retail data processing with name. Its status is running, you can see. And if you click on this, you can see the actions that are being run inside that job. It's very slow today. Yeah. You can see here, so it's getting started. The start control node is okay, its status is okay. And next, the MapReduce one is running. Okay. And you can see all these messages, application path, and you can see the job definition, the same workflow.xml file with all those details here. Okay. And job configuration. So this examples root with examples output directory with anything that you have specified in the job.properties file, that being displayed here in the XML notation. The same values of your job.properties file being displayed here as a XML notation here. And this is the job logs, and job dat displays the graph. Okay, so currently the start is completed and it's running the raw data processing, and then if it's success, then it goes to end. And inside the job logs, you always click on the get logs, otherwise you will not get the latest logs. So something is going on. There are some errors, I think. Action updated in DB. Action updated in DB. So most of the times you will not find useful messages, useful error messages in this Oozie logs, at least. Even if your job is failed, so you will not be able to get the proper error messages from this job log. You should verify in the Yarn resource manager only. Okay, so this just states that Oozie job got started or not. Anything related to Oozie, not with your MapReduce job action. Okay, so callback for action, external ID, subprocessor. Let me check meanwhile. Localhost 8088. Should point to the same. Yeah, there is Oozie action. So MapReduce retail data processor. It's saying that it succeeded. So if it is succeeded, I should get this success succeeded status here also, right? Yes. Okay. So my MapReduce job is succeeded. And this action is completed. Then I went into the control node end, and that is also okay. So what I'm doing in my MapReduce job, I think I might be just copying. You can refer that the MapReduce stuff. In the output directory, the sample mapper class, the source code, you can refer that. Okay. Just for what I'm doing on the MapReduce job. Okay. So this way you can specify your mapper class and your reducer class, and you can run them there. It is just for simple example purpose. So I ran it with these two. Okay. So simply taken an input directory. I think I have processed that. Let me show you this example. Yeah. So this is my input data, and output data is this thing, MapReduce /. So this is the input data, and in the output data, I think I might have generated the line numbers to it. Okay, that way you can specify any MapReduce. I just generated some offset numbers, that's it, along with the text. So this way you can specify any of your MapReduce job. Okay, now let's see one simple example for Hive and Peak and Scoop also. Okay, let me make use of the same workflow.xml. I can specify the different steps in the same thing. So raw data processing, delete make directory queue name, and script. So for Scoop, let me show you this. This is something that okay, or Scoop freeform is the better. No, this is not that handy. Let me show you this example. Yeah, so this way you can specify the your Scoop import command directly here. So yesterday we were running some of the Scoop commands, right? Let me show you. Control R, Scoop import. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So table products and hyphen with password, Cloudera, and username root from retail DB. Let's say products onto Scoop products product underscore out hyphen delete target dir. Okay, so this will help deleting the target directory if it already exists. So let's take this command and specify this in my workflow. So in this workflow only, the Scoop node, /command here. I don't want to comment this. Now I will show you this MapReduce action, right? I will comment this MapReduce part. So I'll keep all these things as it is. Scoop output data / scoop, make directory, and remaining these things as it is. So for my scoop action, so instead of raw data processing, let me give this as scoop node. Okay. So this is where it should get started with. Scoop node and scoop action, job tracker, name node, prepare step, and configuration, and the queue name where it should get submitted. And what is my scoop command? The scoop import -- connect MySQL, username, password, table, products, and target directory, and delete target directory, and scoop. Okay. So if successful, go to end, no other nodes, and if it fails, failed. So scoop job. So once I change this in the workflow.xml file, again I need to upload this file to there. Okay. So let me upload this onto HDFS pack. Okay, so let me run this job once again. So if I run this time, it should run that scoop action. Let me know, or let me see. So what will happen? So even the third job is running. Scoop got failed. Okay, might be some jar issues, dependency jar issues. So failed or killed. So class not found exception. So scoop main not found, meaning the scoop related jar files are not present in the Oozie libraries. One second.
Shiva?
Yes, Satish.
Yeah, one quick question for scoop. So whenever your scoop job is run, so some jar is created, right?
Yes, that in the temporary directories, that jar will get created. Purpose of that jar is, as I explained you, it converts the data types of your RDBMS into Hadoop data types.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say if you have varchar, if you have char, if you have bigint, if you have decimal, all those corresponding RDBMS datasets will get converted into your Hadoop corresponding data types, like int writable, double writable, text, that way. So that's why that jar, that Java program inside that is responsible for that. Okay, so there is scoop main, this jar is missing. Okay, so inside this class not found exception means always it's a missing of a jar inside the Oozie thing. Let's worry about this. But from your end, from developers point of view, It's that simple. That's it. Just specify these things, and these things are again common, right? So you have observed till here, it's the same. Only thing is, if it is scoop, you will have provided your scoop command. And if it is successful end, kill this, go to your normal end. And if it is error, go to fail. Okay.
And if you want to retry, Siva, if you want to retry that?
If we need to retry, retry the same job.
Yeah, like like in our workflow, we have number of tries, right?
Here we need to rerun the job. Only that's thing. If it is failed, we need to rerun that job, and it will submit it as another request. Okay. Or, get the help of it. You'll see the list and status. Those things. Help. Oozie help. Job. Yeah. Rerun. Hyphen rerun is there. Oozie job hyphen Oozie http colon. Let me use the previous one. And I need to take that job ID, the previous job ID, whatever the job that I need to rerun, just take this hyphen rerun. That's it. All these arguments that you can see here, so you can apply in this place now. So if you want to see, if you want to kill that Oozie job, hyphen kill. If you want to get the info, you can give the info. If you want to get the log of it, you can give hyphen log here. If you want to resume already past job, you can. And if you want to rerun, you can. And this is the one run that we have seen so far. And similarly, you can specify this missing argument option for rerun. Is the rerun a job coordinator requires a hyphen action, or date or bundle requires a coordinator. Resume a job, suspend a job, update. Requires hyphen action. So missing configuration property. So this is rerun is available only with, I think, coordinator related stuff. Okay, let me no cleanup offset. These are not just job. These are not just job arguments. These are all action rerun, coordinator rerun, or kill on action IDs requires hyphen rerun and kill. Let me get info on this. So info is working as expected. So it got killed. And even the log. So this is the log that is received for this job. So and so scoop main is not found. Rerun, we are not able to run it if it is independent job. Okay, it needs to be part of your coordinator application, so which I will explain you in another few minutes. Coordinator application is nothing but specifying scheduling a time for this. Okay. And let me show you an Hive action. Okay. Now let me remove this. So your Hive action node will look like Hive node, job tracker, name node, and preparation steps, the target directories, and configuration, and queue name, followed by the script that you are planning to run, Hive script that you are planning to run. Here I will give it as a Hive node. This is where it starts with. So it should run the script that is present in the same directory. It takes the data from this location on HDFS, the input directory. I mean, these are nothing but just two other variables. Input is one variable with this path, and output is another variable with this path. And these two parameters can be used inside your script. And if you check here in the script for MapReduce, have the script.q also copied into the same stuff. So create external table test a integer stored as text file location $input. Okay, so I'm referring to this location, and from this location insert override directory $output, select start from test. Okay, so pointing to this input location, I'm creating one external table, and from there I'm copying data into another output directory just for testing my Hive queries. Okay, and there are two parameters for that. Let me upload this changed workflow.xml file. This is not the one. This is the one that I should refer to. Input data / table Hive. I hope this output data / Hive directory is not there. Yeah, it's not there. Input data / table. Input data / table is also not there. Examples root input data / table. When this is not there, let me take something, just some text /data.txt. We'll take that only. Put data / text / data.txt, right? So it should create onto output -data / Hive, right? Okay, let me upload this. let me run this job. XML schema error. The string -- is not permitted within comments. This is the error. Okay. This is the error that this is talking about. Okay. Let me remove that and re-upload only this. Every time uploading the entire directory, that's why it's taking this much of time. I saved it, right? Okay. Okay. Let's see. This time at least this Hive action will run fine or not. Hive action is running. Let's check the logs. And see this on our local host. So anything that are running. Oozie Hive succeeded. Okay, I think it should have created. So this Hive action is successful. Let's see that from here itself. Got killed. But I can see this as successful here. Hive retail Oozie launcher Hive finish succeeded. Scoop also. So failed while trying to construct redirect URL log URL unknown container. So there is an again Hive error. So what is that message? Hive main not found. How come this is not there? Let me try giving the system library path. Okay. System lib path.
Yeah, if you give system lib path equal to true, you'll get it.
Yes. So this is, again, I thought I will use this. System lib path is something that where all your common jars will be maintained in your Oozie. So if you specify this path, you will be able to access some of these common jars at least. Use system lib path for MapReduce and pick jobs. It is actually false. MapReduce and pick jobs. Yeah. System.lib path. Let me specify this and the above both the properties as true. Okay, so I can specify this stuff here itself equal to true, and I can specify this path also.
Why you are specifying pig if you are getting error in I?
It's the common property that I think I have here. Don't have for Hive.
No, it is oozie.use.system.lib path equal to true.
Oozie.system.path.
Yeah, I'm sending you that.
Yeah, send me that property. Oozie dot is this property present here? Is the question that I'm. So properties sets the property. System library path to use workflow applications. This path is added to workflow application if their job. Property.
Yeah, I saw this in Cloudera communicator.
Okay, so I'm directly checking in the Oozie
Okay.
site. Yeah. So use system lib path to true, and library path we should verify whether we have our library there or not. Also, first thing. Okay, so user Oozie. Let me remove this in case we don't want. We need to verify whether the jars are present in that lib path or not. It is Hadoop fs-ls /user/share/lib, right? So if this path is there, then we can specify that. And it should contain all the common jars as well. Okay, so it's there. So I will specify this path. Output directory. Okay, let me rerun this. I don't need to re-upload this. Let's try this time. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Still running. Let's see whether it gets the same error message or not. You're referring to this path, right? Yeah, by default, these things will be set it up in the cluster level. So you don't need to specify these things in job.properties file. The default is that all the required jars will be present in ShareLib, and ShareLib will be enabled by default at Oozie level. You can, administrators can enable that for us generally. Okay.
It's last.
If this gets completed, at least I thought I will show you one coordinator when this got killed. So Hive main not found. So it's not able to find that the main jar required for Hive itself. Need to include Oozie lib path is true in your job.properties file of the workflow and pick up the Oozie share libs. Can you give this a try? Yeah, we gave that. We tried running after adding in that, but still Hive may not found error. Did anyone know to resolve this issue? Run shell script through this Java main not found error. Already been set in the properties. It might also work if a go. Okay. If these are not being picked up in the job.properties file, so we can try giving them in the directly in the XML file. Let me give last chance. So directly here, properties, I can give them okay. So in our case, it's user Oozie share lib. That's it. No other folders, right? So inside this directory, it is having Hive. Oh, it is having this timestamp as well. Let me see. So whether this have any directories or not. Hadoop fs -ls. So it's having this. Okay. And this lib underscore hive and hive 2. All others are also there in this. Okay, let me try giving this path there. Okay. Upload this to Hadoop fs-put -f examples apps MapReduce workflow.xml. I'll copy this onto the same on HDFS. Okay, let me give one last try here. Let's verify this time whether it's getting picked up those properties or not. So we have this hive set it up. Oozie use system lib path as true. No chance. Okay, let me try this offline. Okay, so something wrong. It's not able to pick up the jar, but from development, so this is something that setup issue. But from developers' perspective, generally you specify just the script name and any parameters. So that's it. Once you submit your job, the job will get submitted to your Oozie. Okay, and if you face any such kind of issues in real time, you generally get these things resolved by your administrators. What is the problem with why it's not able to pick up the jars? So they will look into the jars issue. Any missing jars, it's the responsibility of your administrators to copy them onto share libraries and enable that share library, unlike for each and every action, because if there are some hundreds of applications, no one will keep these properties in each and every action there. Okay, so these things will be enabled at cluster level. Generally, we don't do this at action level. Let me explain your coordinator as well. Let's. So I was able to run this previously. Not sure what changes I made that time. I'm not able to recall that. Okay, let me try it offline. Then I will correct that, and I will share that updated job.properties file or workflow.xml file. Okay, so I will share that updated XML. file with you. For now, let me explain you one more topic, that is coordinators. So if you have a sequence of actions that you want to specify, so in a given workflow itself, first you can specify the scoop node, and if it is successful, go to raw data processing so that it will run the MapReduce job after that. And once the MapReduce job is completed, instead of going into directly end, it can go to Hive node. That way, you can control the sequence of these actions. So if you specify this way, first the scoop node will run, and then MR node will run, and then Hive node will run. And finally, Hive node is successful, then it will go to regular end. Otherwise, if it is failed, it gets killed. And even in the previous actions, anytime if it is successful, then it will go to the next action. Otherwise, if there is an error, it will always go to the kill node. Okay, fail means the kill node. Okay, you can specify all these things, the same explanation of all these things here. And first MapReduce action, second MapReduce action. So how to control a time-based action? Yes, time-based action I'm going to explain with the coordinator apps. Okay. And these things I already explained. Package and lib structure, workflow.xml file, and jars. Yeah. So these properties files. Info, monitor your job, and just check all these things. Big action example, just a script and script name, any parameters. Hive action example. Okay. And scoop action example, command line. Only thing is, from our side, development side, there is no issue. And you can run some of the SSH actions also directly. You can log in into one of the box and run your regular shell commands also on SSH. Okay. So Hive, the problem is other nodes don't know where your MySQL is. You are getting error table not found. You need to do two things. Copy hivesite.xml file in the Oozie workflow directory. In your Hive action, tell Oozie that use my hivesite.xml file, something like this. Job XML hivesite.xml. Copy hivesite.xml in the Oozie workflow directory. Is that the case? This should work. Yeah, maybe let me try this. Okay, after that, let me complete this, at least the remaining topics. So you can even SSH to a particular machine. SSH means secure login into a particular local machine, and on that local machine you can run a command. So for that, generally we give that host name and the command, what is the command that I want to run. Okay, so this is SSH action. Yeah, so this is the one that you're asking about, time-based triggering. So coordinator app, we build a coordinator app, the coordinator app name and the frequency. So what is the frequency that you need to trigger this workflow, and what is the start time and what is the end time, and the time zone is always in UTC. And the controls, timeout, when it should get timed out, how much, after how many minutes it should get timed out. And what is the concurrency? At max, how many parallel applications can run these things? So we generally specify only one, because at any point of time, only one workflow application can run. So not two workflow applications parallelly. Okay, action, and you can specify the workflow path name. At least let me use this successful MapReduce workflow here. Let's say if this this is failing, let me take the MapReduce one only. MapReduce one don't have any car dependency issues. MR node, let me make it simple. MR node, and at the end, go to end instead of hide node. Okay. So in this MR, let me trigger this for every 5 minutes. So I will take the help of coordinator. I think in this. Yeah, coordinator.xml file and coordinator.properties file. We need those two. Yeah. Start time, end time. Let's take these in the UTC format. So we need to take this in the UTC format. So 2016, current date in UTC format. Okay. So Wednesday, July 13. So 2016, it's a 7/13. Time is 03:40. Zero 03:59. 16 07/013. Start and end time I have specified here. Let me take this coordinator properties file. So instead of frequency coordinator hours of 1, so I can specify minutes of 4 minutes. Every 4 minutes, let it get started. And UTC concurrency 1, the data set. This is specifying the data set dependency, but action specifying the output directory, all these things. A simple application. Let me take workflow action, application path, That's it. So I don't want all these things. Let me take very simple one. Name node examples root apps / map-reduce, because in MapReduce I have this coordinator.xml file, MapReduce / workflow.xml. Workflow.xml file, output events. I don't want all these things. So this will get triggered. So every 4 minutes, starting from this date and time till this date and time. Now I need to specify this coordinator.xml file instead of the workflow.xml file in the job.properties file. This, let me take this part. Okay, you have given me some suggestion from Google, right? So if I copy the hivesite.xml file to there, and it should work. That's it, right? Let me copy paste. Then my hive node. I will test if it goes fine. But this is not the problem with MySQL. It's the main class itself is not found. Class not found. Okay. Let's see. Now, Oozie job-job.properties file. Just give this. It should run. Sorry, I didn't upload this app directory coordinator.xml, that is not present. Yeah, I didn't upload that. Let's do here. Okay, and the coordinator.xml file as well. Okay, now let me run this job.
Siva lost you. What are you trying to do here?
Cannot find the declaration of element coordinator app. I'm trying to schedule this for every 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
But only upon failure or just schedule just normally?
Success scenarios.
Only for the success scenario.
Yes.
We can do the same for the fail as well, right?
Yes. See, I mean, every 1 hour you need this application to be running. So you know that every 1 hour you see files into a directory. So you want to run this.
Right.
Okay, that way.
Okay.
So I'm still getting some error message. Cannot find the declaration of element coordinator -app. Still have some error message. Oh, okay. Invalid coordinator application attributes. Coordinator job with frequency of 4 minutes is faster than allowed, maximum of 5 minutes. Oozie service check frequency is set to true. I should set this to at least minimum of 5 minutes. That is what. So every 5 minutes, let me test that. I need to upload this. Yeah, the coordinator application is started. You can see -c here. So till now we were seeing -w, and now we can see -c at the end suffix. -c means it's a coordinator, and coordinator jobs you can observe in the separate tab here. This machine is very slow. Yeah, under coordinator jobs, you can verify that. Okay. The coordinator job is running. Frequency is every 5 minutes. You can see this job I asked it to run on starting from 1340, right? So 13 hours, 40 minutes. But at that time, since this was not started, even if it is 48, it is running. The next job, nominal time, it should start at 340. But since just now I submitted, so that is running now. Next 45 minutes, it should run one second instance. So since even that time has already passed, now again it will run. And the next instance, it will run at 350 and 355. And these three are in ready status because already it's the time 350. One after the other. Even this machine is a bit slow responsive today. Is it still running? Under workflow jobs, you can see this. 007 might be running. Why is it still running? Why is this still running? Since this is a test run, I said that frequency as every 5 minutes. Otherwise, if you specify this as every 10 hours or every 12 hours or every 24 hours, you can even specify in the number of days or number of hours also. So if you specify that way, you can schedule this job every 12 hours once, or every 1 hour once, or every 24 hours once. So whatever is there in this workflow.xml file, so that will get submitted. Okay, so at least from your developer's perspective, it's running fine. So there is some configuration issue with your Hive and Scoop. So let me figure out what is the properties that we need to enable in the quick start VM. Okay, but in real time, you don't need to worry about these kind of jar issues. It's very slow. So what if execution time is more than spooled time? So will it still run the scheduled jobs? Yes, it will run. It will run that jobs, but there will be some jobs that will get spooled up forever. So in that case, if you specify the timeout option, let's say if you have given 30 minutes window, even after 30 minutes, if it is still running, if you give timeout as 30 minutes, it will kill that job, the current job. Meaning there is something wrong with that particular execution. Let's kill that execution and start with the next jobs.
Do we have to give the end time?
End time, you can give any time. Yes, you have to give the end time, but you can specify any. If you don't want to end it at any particular recently, you can give some 2020 or something like that, right?
Okay. What is the purpose of end time? It doesn't make any sense, because
Purpose
we should
of
let the job finish.
Purpose of
End time.
end time.
End time.
Let's say if you have scheduled a job and you need this job to be run only for 1 month, every day.
Okay. Oh, so it's not the job execution time, it's the workflow execution
Yes.
time. Okay, okay. The frequency.
Yes, frequency.
This
is the frequency.
frequency.
Yep.
I was thinking this is job end time.
No, it's not job end time. Okay. So yeah, I think that's it. I have planned for. So we think that job execution. No, that's not the job execution. That's the coordinator execution. Okay. So even my machine is still very slow. Let me show you at least. Yeah. See, this got succeeded, and next this got picked up, and this is ready. And if I would have specified more time, I specified till 3:59 only. So it run only 4 instances of this job every 5 minutes. Then it will get stopped. Okay. So even that is how you specify the coordinator apps. Okay, this is a time-based triggering. So time triggering. And similarly, this aggregator this initial coordinator.xml file, so which I have shown you here. So that has the dataset based triggering as well. You can try that out. Okay. So inside this aggregator app, this coordinator.xml file has both dataset based triggering as well. Like this is how input dataset name, you specify the dataset name, how frequently this dataset will arrive, okay, and input events. So input event, it expects for this data in, okay. But this is, you just need to explore a bit more on this. Current of 0 means current instance of this data set, and it should start at least looking for the last 2 instances of these 2 files. So meaning at least there should be 3 files received. So within last 1 hour, here this frequency of this data set is that every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes you will receive 1 file, and you will process this only once in a 1 hour. That means the expectation is that, so end instance you will take current of 0, meaning the latest file you will take, and prior to that the last 2 files that arrived it takes. So it expects minimum of 3 files in the directory, then only it will process this. Okay. So generally we specify how frequently your data set will arrive, whether it's 24 hours of this thing. But this is sometimes, yeah, I generally follow the time-based triggering, like based on what is the worst scenario when you will receive the data set, and based on that we will set it up. Otherwise, referring these data sets sometime will get messed up with the existing data sets and the new data sets. Okay, at least this, you can use this as a time-based triggering in real time without any issues. Okay, so we ran this coordinator apps and workflow apps, the MapReduce actions, this Hive and Scoop. So the action is getting picked up. Okay, only thing is you're getting some class not found exception. That is because of missing jars set up for your Oozie. Okay. Let me try sometime later, and I will update that property in the job.properties file or somewhere, and I will push that into your example source code folders. Okay. So with that, I think I'm done with Oozie. So there might be some extra things that you can explore on Oozie. You can write this same Oozie workflows through the Java program as well. I leave that as an advanced topic. You can explore that on your need basis. Okay, so very 1 out of 100 scenarios you might get that requirement. Writing this Oozie workflow using a Java program. Okay, the way we have seen, right, running a Hive queries from a Java program, that way running this Oozie job from Java client. Okay, so that's very rare scenarios.
Siva, what about failure success email notifications?
Yes, you can do that. There is a email action also. If you check in the examples, yes, good question. So on a success scenario, you can send an email. On failure scenario also, you can send to a particular people. There should be an email action. Oh, if not here, I should share it with you. No operation. Mm. Yeah, there is a email action. Okay, let me.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
No problem.
you just have to specify just one action there. This is not okay. So this is like, I mean, these Oozie and Flume, these two sessions are like beginners, or on request basis you will be running these things. So I just covered the beginning steps for you, at least. Okay, not I have them email actions, or you can find in the Google. It's similar to any other action. Like here, the way you have a MapReduce, you will find the email and a to address and source address. I'm trying to custom mail. I don't have this. Okay. Yeah, here.
Yeah, it's okay, Siva.
Yeah, action name. Inside this, instead of pig, you will find email and to address and subject and the message that you want to send.
And this will be coordinated with Oozie, right?
Yes, Oozie.
Oozie jobs, right?
And for that to be available, your Oozie server should be set up with your SMTP server protocol. Otherwise, you will not be able to mails. So again, that is another admin's task. So this is most of the times you will get, since this server side issues. So mostly it will be done by the admins. That's why Satish raised that point. Why do developers need to do this stuff? Generally, it will be done.
Yeah, by an admin. That makes sense. So, but I assume that the email part is also applicable to all other, right? I can also invoke after high job and everything, right?
Anything. After this, just specify your email action. Okay. Email node, just specify it as email node. After successful scenario, it will go to email node. And even in failure scenario, you can write to failing.
Yes. Siva, what about running the job? You know, if job fails in middle, can I start from the same starting point?
That is not, I think that's not there.
Okay. So it will execute this step. Okay?
Yep. You need to clean up and you need to run from that action.
Yeah, that's a big problem. But
yeah, I mean, these are just evolving, right? I mean, just 2 years back, just installation of Oozie itself was very, very, very big headache. Its installation is a different process than any others. So I have shown some of these Spark installations, these guys to some of these guys, but your Oozie installation is not, there was no direct binary tarball installations available. You need to download the source code and source code of all the modules of your Hadoop. And people were getting lots and lots of version inconsistency issues. That's why I had a very big article written on that. How to install Oozie from the source code, including all the versions and Java versions and Tomcat version issues and web UI issues. This is some server side. It has lots of still many things that it needs to mature.
Okay. Yeah. And Siva, sure. Yeah. That's fair enough. But now it's all solved, so we're in good shape, right?
Yeah, at least it's in better shape, I can say.
Correct. And then Siva, what about logs? Like like in Informatica or something, we write failed records to a log file.
Yeah, here you can see those log messages, right? Both from Oozie console and as well as the your Yarn console.
And we can export this?
Log files? It's already inside a file. Yes, you can do this. We don't have direct export command, I think, from these browsers. From files, you can do this. But the thing is, you will not, in real time, you'll not be having direct access to those files. You can always check from here, this way. You can check all these logs.
Is there a way we can do from HDFS? We can export this, write a command, or do it automatically?
No straight commands. This is actually these are not HDFS files. Okay, these log messages will get stored on the local directories of your nodes.
Oh.
Log messages will always be local files. These are not HDFS files. Okay.
Shiva, tomorrow is the last class?
Tomorrow we'll discuss some of these Hue and Cloudera Manager. And I mean, again, I'm doubt how much this Cloudera Manager opens from my machine, because these services itself are not running. Yeah, I will try to show you as much as I can. Okay, at least I will explain Hue and some real-time tools that you will use in projects. And day after tomorrow, I will explain some at least 2 or 3 real-time projects, end-to-end scenarios with business use cases. Okay. Day after tomorrow is the last.
Okay, actually there was a loss of your voice. We didn't hear anything.
Oh, what I was telling is, like, tomorrow we'll discuss the real-time tools. Hue, I mean, Hue is not that frequently used. I don't recommend, at least. Some people who are new to Hadoop, they use it, but you guys, I don't recommend you to use that Hue. But anyway, I will explain. And some real-time tools that you deal with, some PuTTY or some kind of tools for file transfers and file commands and these things. And then Cloudera Manager. So again, purely for admins. Just intro for you, okay? So that you will be having basic idea the way. I mean, good to have, right? So yeah, day after tomorrow we'll discuss the projects, real-time projects.
How about the real-time cluster?
Real-time cluster. Okay, let me try to show you that, but I will not record that in the video.
Yeah. No problem.
This is my request for you.
Yeah,
I will
no
not record that in video, but I will show you that real-time cluster. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Real-time cluster. Yeah, it's then I will open the Cloudera Manager with real-time cluster only instead of my local cluster. Okay, so that you can see all the instances and everything. Only thing is, you will not get the video recording for that.
Okay, no problem.
Just 15 minutes or so. Okay.
Shiva, can you talk about like Spark for like 10 minutes? Like, you know, just exactly where does Spark fit into this?
Okay. I will talk on that. Okay. No problem.
Just an overview, you know, very brief overview.
Yes, yes. At least half of our batch guys attended Spark sessions also, Anand. Akila.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these guys were part of Ramesh, Akila, and Lakshman, and Srinivas. All these, Vasu, all these attended our Spark trainings also. And Spark training completed last Sunday only.
Oh, that completed, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I could have merged even Spark also. The thing is, if I merge too many things, already I know what I'm shorting now. I mean, I'm cutting some of these tools. If I need to explain Flume, I can take 1 week sessions. There are many.
Right.
Even in Oozie, I can take at least another 2-3 days sessions. Thing is, it's already almost like more than 60 hours. We are crossing like. It's a never-ending story. I can keep on telling, and I should stop it, right? So
yeah, it's a pretty good feedback. I mean, just as a feedback, you know, genuine. I would think probably we should have spent more time on these tools. Initially, we spent a little bit more time on
MapReduce and
That
all.
is the foundation, Anand. Since you got that foundation now you are feeling like otherwise you would feel otherwise. Reverse. Okay. The thing is, once you are onto the track, my confidence is that these things you can explore anyway. Once you are on the platform.
These tools we can find online, but we cannot find more on MapReduce and all.
Correct. So that is the, roots. If you are strong in that, I know that I didn't cover. I gave you complete details from Scoop. Okay, even with that is 2.5 hour session. I gave you complete details. At Flume, I cut short some of these topics, and the same case with Oozie also. I didn't explain the fork and joins and the decision making and the Java client. Okay, so I leave those things for your advanced research.
Yeah, but if you have any article, just share it with us.
Sure. Okay.
Would you have some slides on that?
Slides. I don't have specific to it, but I can get them. Or you will find it in this slide share. Okay.
Perfect.
At least, see, right? You know how to set the agents, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know how to write workflows, and you know how to write coordinators and triggering them. So exploring, see, if I don't explain one argument, what will happen? You will explore it. So you have the basic platform ready.
Fair enough.
Okay. I'm admitting that some things that I didn't cover in these two. It's mainly due to the time constraints. And I set this path expectation for everyone. So there are these more things, but for now it's okay. So you can, in your interviews, then no one will ask you these things also. Even whatever till now we discussed, even till here, no one will ask you beyond this limits. That is my guarantee.
Got it.
Okay.
And when is your next Spark session? Do you know?
29th.
July 29th.
Yes.
July 29th.
Yes.
So maybe I can join that.
Yeah, because I could have covered that also, but Akila, these guys know that went almost for 45 hours duration. If I cut short, again, they will become like this. People will lost. They don't get anything. Just they will get scared of it.
But Shiva, you said in Spark that you'll cover emblem graphics, but you didn't do that.
No. I don't know anything about graphics. Yeah.
Not graphics. I think you said you'll cover something in the first class. I don't know. Okay. I don't remember. But let me check the video and get back to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I might give you. Yeah, I thought I might give you one simple word count example for emlib. Yeah.
I think other file system or Spark.
Other file systems, you have seen HDFS, you have seen HBase. I gave you examples.
No. That's specific to Spark, and that's emerging out just now. And you said you've never worked on
Tachyon. Yeah, Tachyon. Yeah, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I didn't add that in slide. Let me share that.
I was just kidding. No problem.
I will share that example code with you. I have. I didn't add that into the slides, but I have done that POC. I have that with me. Code working with me. I will put that in the example so you can refer that. Just 3-4 lines of code that connects to that file system, Tachyon file system. But thing is, you need that Tachyon installed on the cluster. Yeah, at least from developers' perspective, I will give you that. Okay. Again, that is incubating. Tachyon is incubating status.
Yeah, you said that in the first class itself.
Yes, that is incubating status. Not recommended for use in production. Just for your test purposes, you can play with that.
Shiva, one quick question: that do you have any articles on Kudu?
Kudu, I think I uploaded, right?
No, I didn't see it actually.
If not, I will do. Okay, I have in my desktop. I have in my desktop. I will do that.
Okay.
Because I did Kudu POCs a year ago. I collected the documents. Impala, Kudu, yes, Kudu setup, and Kite SDK API is also that which I was talking about.
But we are not using Kite.
No, we are not using. This got deprecated. Almost even Cloudera doesn't suggest us to use this now anymore.
After getting Parquet and all, it got deprecated.
Yes. The Kudu documentation I do have. I think I have uploaded into our blog. Let me recheck and share that with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have some HBase Solar integrations and Hive Solar integrations. These things also pending. I will upload them. Okay.
Yeah, even sample resumes, please.
Sample resumes, I have lots with me. Let me share.
For the terminology, basically.
Yeah. I'm getting that. Application change request. On the resume. All these are the resumes that we get for our interviews. We take these interviews, right? Take these as references.
Okay.
Pick the best ones or the ones that you like. Okay. And others are, those two are not needed.
Maybe Shiva, you can dump this drive.
Yeah. I'm dumping this into drive. I'm dumping this into drive only. Yes, I'm doing that.
No, he's saying that all of your files.
My Google Drive is not that capacity. I always clean up the old files. Okay.
I can give you mine. I have a lot of capacity.
Okay. So let me copy this into drive.
I think if someone steals Shiva's laptop, he'll find all Hadoop kind of stuff.
Anyway, it's open source. I don't keep anything personal in my this. You don't find anything that is private in my laptop. Anything that I have, I always try to upload into a blog, unless the client information. I mean, if it is.
Yeah, but you are not active these days, right?
Huh? Yeah, I'm not active these days. That's the only thing.
I think 2015. Your last blog was in 2015, I guess.
No. Recently, also I uploaded some of the articles on Impala.
I didn't see.
Impala functions.
Okay.
And I mean, one more thing that I need to do on the blog is it doesn't have a proper index. Only for these tools, Hadoop, MapReduce, and Hive Impala. For some of these tools, it has basic index.
Flume also it is there, but not for Scoop.
Yeah, but not for others. Here, this is the index that I'm trying to plan. Like, so this way, at least it can have some proper menu and all the topics listed. And so it's not completely indexed here.
Yeah, we need to search.
Yeah, we have to search. I'm really not doing good job in that.
That's okay. We're getting information, but the problem is like we don't get when we open this now, we are not getting this page so nice. We are getting zigzag and everything. This goes down.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, some compatibility issue.
Sometimes, or is it every time?
Every time I open, I get that. Maybe
can you try clearing your cache and see?
Yeah, I'll do that and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Shiva, is there an alternative to Oozie?
Alternative to Oozie Azkaban. There is another alternative.
What was that?
Azkaban. A tool called Azkaban. You can explore it here. This.
Azkaban. But somebody said that Azkaban is not, I mean, maybe Quartz. Quartz is better than Azkaban?
Quartz.
Uh-huh.
I'm not aware of that.
Maybe it's a third party. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Oozie, you don't need to worry about it, Anand. Like this here, since this is our local, here you are only administrator, you are only developer, and you are only architect. So that's why you, if you get any issues, you need to struggle in real time. So just writing this workflow.xml file and job.properties file, these two files, that's the only your job. Okay, it's your simple. If I am the developer in my real-time project, if I get the same issue, immediately as and when I get this exception, boss, there is some jar missing in this. Please get this resolved. Until then, it is a blocker for us. That's it.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, there would be an admin, definitely.
Yep. I mean, on the 20-node cluster itself, we have 3 administrators.
Oh wow, 3 admins.
Yeah, 3 administrators, 1 on site and 2 on offshore. Okay. Yeah, there will be admin support. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. Anything else?
See, one last thing I was going to say that the properties, the XML and that, the execution is first the properties and then the XML, right?
Yes, exactly. So it will go into the properties file and it checks this coordinate workflow.xml or coordinator.xml. Then it picks up that workflow.xml and then it starts executing this.
Okay. So like in real life scenario, if I'm having, say for example, if I'm running some finance jobs, if I'm running some manufacturing jobs, or maybe weblogs, right? So will I write execution for each? So how does this, like I have to write one workflow?
Yes, one workflow for each app. Yes.
Okay, and then add it to the job properties and then execute that out?
Yeah, exactly. So one separate job.properties file for each application and one separate workflow.xml file for each application. And inside this workflow.xml file, you will specify the sequence of actions that you do.
Shiva, one more thing. Assignment I couldn't find in the drive. Sorry.
Assignment?
Scoop assignment that you, it's not in the drive.
That, okay, I think I might have missed that. Okay, let me see that.
Sorry, Anand, go ahead.
No worries.
Okay, scoop assignment, right? Okay, pasted it there. Okay, for Oozie, just running a 2 sequence of actions, first a MapReduce job and then Hive action is enough. Take that as an assignment. But before that, let me try to figure out what is that issue in your quick start view. Okay. So I will try to see. Yeah, even Akila, I mean, do me a favor. You are good at exploring all these things, right? If you find the solution before me, just let me know. I was able to run these things in my 5.4 edition. Today I ran it. I opened the 5.5 one. Let me run the older versions and see what is changing. So what can I do for make it run?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. For your question, Anand, like for different, let's say if there is a finance application, some sequence of actions that will be there, right? Files will be received and parsed and structured and this thing. And there is another set of application that has a different sequence of actions. For that, you will write another separate application folder, and inside that you will have workflow.xml and job.properties file. So for each application, you will have separate workflow.xml and job.properties files, and you invoke them. That's it.
Oh, okay. So it will be separate out. Okay.
Yep, it will be separate out, not just one.
And then I have to write the coordinator for each of them. There's separate coordinator and
Yes,
separate all
for
that
each
stuff,
of
right?
them separate coordinators, and you specify them, each of those coordinators, each of different frequencies. Like one might be running every 4 hours, one might be running every 12 hours. That way.
Interesting.
Okay. So at least you know the basic coordinators, how to trigger them, frequency, these things. Okay.
Shiva, do you monitor this in real time, or there is an admin who takes care of monitoring?
Admins will monitor this.
Okay, you don't monitor that.
We don't monitor. I mean, as I was telling, like email action is also there. Email action, we can set it up. And I don't think that you can, email action, you can set it up in your Quickstart VM. You need that SMTP server also installed in your CentOS, and that is configured with your mailboxes or something.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that you can do on your local machines. But in real time, that is there.
Shiva, we do all things in Q editor, right? We can use the Q editor, right?
Your voice is very, very low, Vasu.
Okay, we can do all these workflows and all these bundle works and all these things using the Hue editor, Oozie editor 3.8, which I have seen.
I will show you that Hue editor tomorrow. Not just Oozie, you can do almost all these things, but I don't recommend.
Okay.
Okay, so you will lose the grip on actual development. So you will get used to the GUI.
Okay.
Okay.
So most of the real times people use the workflows, manually written codes and all.
We write directly the XML files, directly the properties files, and upload into HDFS. Then we do the actual backend process only. I don't recommend doing that through Hue. Hue is only for, in my opinion, Hue is only for business users who are not familiar with technical things.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's discuss anyway that topic tomorrow. Okay. Thank you guys. I think I took almost like an hour extra time from you. Thanks for your cooperation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shiva.
Thank you, Siva.
Yeah.